Right, and several questions have raised on the new tax regime. Speaking on this, we have in our midst Mr. Sridhar, the political analyst, and Mr. Nagesh from Congress Party. Thank you very much, sir, for having in our midst. Mr. Sridhar, we'll start our program with you. Please tell your general opinion on the budget.
It's a good pro people, like it's an incredible budget for the middle class, because the fiscal deficiency is 4.8% of GDP in 2025. For the next year it's 4.4. See, especially up to 12 lakhs there is no tax. That is one of the good advantage for the salaried employees. Until 4 lakhs for anyone can claim nil tax. But you know, we have to understand two things here, because that is for the last year. The next tax year will be from 25 April. Still we have no old regime and new regime, but still, you know, it's good for the salaried employed, and who can, you know, see, we can live legitimately and earn legitimately. That is a good thing. Really, you know, FM has given, you know, a very good presentation, because she clearly told Deshamante Matti Kadu Deshamante Mansulai. We recall, you know, our Gurujad Apparao famous quote. That is very good for the our Telugu states. But you know, especially when it comes to Telangana, like we have given 1.63 lakhs proposal to the central government, especially in RRR, Metro Phase 2 and Musi development project. But unfortunately we didn't get anything. Especially Andhra Pradesh, you know, got few of them. Like, you know, Polavaram, they got some grants, and Vishaka Steel also they got some grants. So this is my basic, you know, observation. But it's good. It's good for the middle class. It's really incredible.
Okay. What do you think the reason behind this? We're not mentioning the state of Andhra Pradesh, because just in the month of June, Polavaram project and Amravati were given utmost importance, but this time there was not. But on the other hand, Bihar has got so many perks.
If you look in any budget, the next election, like, you know, 2025 we have Bihar elections. It's really crucial for the BJP and, you know, and alliances, Nitish Kumar. So Bihar has granted IIT partner upgradation and MSME funds, and especially the Makana board. So they were looking from long time. The Makana board is granted now. And one more new project, new scheme is announced here, Dana Dhanya Krishi Yojana. See, in every mandal, you know, farmers can produce and Kisan credit cards and, you know, their boards, and they can really help from this Krishi Dana Dhanya Yojana. That is really good for the farmers. Not only these farmers, and lot of schemes, you know, this, if you see in this budget, we have 4 pillars. The first pillar is agriculture, the second pillar is investments, the third pillar is exports, and fourth is MSME. See, if you see, you know, MSME, anyway, MSME minister is from Bihar, Honorable Jiten Ram Manjiji. They have got good funds. Apart from that, we have, you know, like, you know, we have many for the startups. See, the incorporation period for the startups earlier was, you know, 2 years. Now it has been given up to 5 years. And lots of, you know, funds are allocated to those startups and MSMEs. That is very, very good for the society. Even though, you know, like, you know, for employees, not only employees, for the startups, because the real growth is in startups, because we are the third largest ecosystem in the startups. Very soon under Modi 3.0 definitely we will reach the number 1. There is no doubt about it. Really, it's great to the society and great to the nation.
And as you have mentioned regarding several boards that are allotted to Bihar, state of Andhra Pradesh has the huge coastline, and finance minister has mentioned that fisheries in the world, India is in the 2nd place.
Yes.
And in India, Andhra Pradesh would be the leading in fisheries.
Yes.
But anything pertaining to Andhra Pradesh fisheries is not exactly mentioned. And on the other hand, even regarding the cotton board, like a Makana board is allotted to go Bihar. And especially from South Andhra, especially the region from Prakasham and Nellore, they are demanding for cotton MSPs and all that, and those were not exactly mentioned. Which she could have done that, because anyhow she has mentioned 2 things, the jute industry and the fisheries industry. But even in that also, the state which is leading in both the things is not exactly mentioned. Well, how do you see this?
Really, it's not much allocated to Andhra Pradesh. Only, you know, they are said in their, you know, budget, but, you know, not much for Andhra Pradesh. Maybe, you know, they might give in some other farms, because, you know, Bihar has asked the special status. Really nowadays giving special status is not at all possible, not only for Bihar, even for Andhra Pradesh also. Maybe if you look in that prospect, the priority has given to Bihar only because of elections.
Bihar has asked for the special status only after Andhra Pradesh has demanded it, because
Yes.
Andhra Pradesh,
Yes.
it is mentioned in the state reorganization form.
Right.
Probably they did not table that, but it was assured by then Prime Minister late Manmohan Singh that special status will be granted to the state of Andhra Pradesh, and the special status for Bihar has come up just before the previous coalition, just that too after Nitish Kumar has one decent number. So it is not their initial demand. But on the other hand, the state of Andhra Pradesh is completely given cold hand, whereas Bihar getting so many perks in each and everything.
Yes.
Even in Udan also,
Yes.
because Bihar is given so many funds based on one particular thing, it's economically backward
Yeah.
state. But in Udan also, where exactly it is not needed that much. Greenfield airports is mentioned, new air routes are mentioned.
Yes.
So these are exactly not needed, but wherever it is there, Bihar is mentioned.
Actually, for Bihar, 4 greenfield airports are sanctioned in this budget. Really, if you're telling, it's not required now, but because of election coming in the next, next maybe this year only it will be coming. So that agenda will be clearly shown in the budget, because of the only one and only agenda for Bihar is elections.
So can we summarize this as an election budget?
Yes, especially for Bihar.
Because last time when even Rahul Gandhi also termed the budget as the AP and Bihar budget, but this time it is purely Bihar election budget. Can we term? Can we agree for
Yes,
that?
we can say that, because see, we have produced 1.63 lakhs proposal to center. We haven't got it because we don't have elections, and moreover, we don't have some other we have some other government here. But it depends on budget, it depends on elections, it depends on many factors also.
As a political analyst, how do you see what would be the response from the BJP cadre from both Telangana and Andhra Pradesh? Last time they have just defended that every
Definitely,
state
our
cannot be
MPs has to ask for more budget, at least in the next budget, or at least they have to ask more railway projects. Not only especially pertain to this budget, but definitely in the next budgets, in the next sessions, we have to fight for the more. It's our MPs' responsibility to fight and get more funds for Telangana.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Sridhar. Now we will ask Mr. Nagesh from Congress Party. So you being from Congress Party, what is your initial view? Because frankly speaking, it is termed as middle class, very friendly, and this, frankly speaking, when I have to agree that it's a remarkable budget, because 7 to 12 lakhs jump is not a small thing, which incurs a revenue loss of 1 lakh crores. So it's a remarkable thing. So from the Congress Party, how do you see this?
It's your observation saying that it's a remarkable thing. What I see is again a mockery on the people. It's been like last 10-11 years BJP government is doing mockery. Seriously, I am saying this statement, uttering this statement with the understanding of that. Let's say what is economy policy is saying, right? Before budget to last, let's do a comparative analysis from the previous government, Congress government to BJP government. Yearly basis will segregate the segments, right? Last couple of years, you have been observed that inflation was growing like hell, which is not at all in sync with world economy. Do you agree this? This is a fact I am speaking on. I don't go by budget. I'll come to budget later on, but I'm trying to bring a reality in front of you. Unemployment is growing like hell. Poverty is going like hell. What are the inputs they are providing in the name of budget? Let's say most of our youth across the nation, we are so proud about, even BJP wanted to be this nation to be a Viksit Bharat, that is developed nation by 2047. To achieve that, we need to grow our economy above 8. I guess that's fact, no? And what is the growth rate of economy? 6.5. Do you think they are going to achieve this? Somewhere they are fooling whom? So you try to understand this thing. If inflation is going high, where is middle class saving the money? You are right, you are giving a tax benefit to them. If inflation is touching 7.5 to 8, how do they are going to save their money? If vegetable and pulses daily, essential things are going at a very sharp rise in there, how do you think they are going to save the money? I guess Nirmala Sitharaman is supposed to answer for this question. Another thing is that if unemployment is high, means your youth population is semi-skilled or below skilled. What you are taking initiation in this budget or in a parliament or in separate legislation, how you are countering them, what they brought it, what is there in the budget. In a last budget, they said that because of the AI, because of the AI, unemployment is raising. How do technology is giving a push to unemployment? In fact, technology serves to counter unemployment, no? So these are the logic. Somebody is saying you that one religion so important. They are doing hallucination. Viksit Bharat, Vishwa Guru, right? Hindu Khatre mein. Why you are talking all these things?
That's a different topic.
What I am trying to say you, when you come to budget, the intention of the government, when, let's say, I am not saying this is a political propaganda, I am surprised that in a last parliamentary election, our respected Prime Minister of India he never uttered a last 10 years of achievements of government. Instead, he spoke about Mandir, Mujra. So, no press conference our respected Prime Minister have gave till today about the functioning of the government. And you are saying that that's a so pro people project budget and middle class budget. In fact, those are reliefs. But how do you gonna counter? How do you gonna achieve in a long term objectives of the nation? We are a young nation. How we are tapping them? Here, you must agree that human resource development is your primary agenda to bring your nation in a developed category. Do this government doing that? So all you have to question about me and about the question you are asking, what is your observation you are saying it, this is my observation. I guess I am on to point. You can check out the economy survey, what she placed on 31st January in Parliament. Economy survey will reflect all of your truth there. Instead of budget relief, all those things.
In spite of all that, still middle class has got the relief. That is the truth we have to accept. And regarding the inflation numbers and the unemployment numbers, what you have asked now, what you have just told now, in the month, if you remember, in the month of June, the budget was presented, post-election budget. The same question was asked by the journalist then, and she said that inflation is very well under control because it's not huge varying. It is between 4 to 5 like that. Whereas in Congress, it has touched a double digit. That was the answer, what Nirmala Sitharaman has given at that particular time. And as far as the unemployment rate, it is, as you have mentioned, definitely I agree to you that unemployment rate has become more after the present government has come in. But it was an all-time high in the year 2017 and 18, but now it has drastically come down.
What is the ratio? What do you mean by drastically? How much it is?
It was in the range of 6 to 8 in 2017 to 18 now, and now it has become to 3. Okay, I'm sorry that I'm not able to give the unit value because I'm a little bit confused at that. But
nobody
yes,
in this nation can give a unit value.
Yeah, it was a part of the economic survey. It was stable yesterday, from 6 to 8 in 2017 to 18. Now it has come to 3. That was the economic survey report what was published. As far as the unemployment is concerned, that unemployment is also coming down. And regarding the unemployment issue, the Startup India and MSMEs and Manrega are the 3 schemes what they have launched. And today in the present budget also, these 3 things are given very much high consideration.
Let me counter it, saying let me put up your statement in a 3 segment. Saying that you are saying that middle class is getting lots of relief, so it's a good one of your segment. Second is unemployment rate got drastically reduced.
6 to 3
let's say. Third of your is like about MSME, right? Let me counter this, saying that what middle class, how you classify middle class? How you have to numerate them. Had your nation done any census? This is so called 5 trillion economy, you are so proud about it. आपने जनगण किया? let's say 3 to 5, whatever, they are aspiring to be in FI, no?
Aspiring.
Let's say how you going to distribute that numeration of wealth of this nation to the people of the nation? How? Have you numbered them? Have you? Not yet, no. There was no census. How you going to classify this range of people falls in a middle class? Because you didn't numbered your people here.
Middle class is the term that what we are using. It's not the term that they have used.
No, you
but
can't do that
salaried
randomly. Let me
in
speak
any
up.
budget.
We are 3 on the table. We are 3 on the table. We are speaking on the budget. This is the right
Yes,
numeration,
definitely.
right? You don't have any number in front of your middle class saying that this numeration of the middle class is going to get benefit. You haven't conducted any census. How can you gonna say that? The first thing I am trying to say you, maybe I am a bit uneducated. Try to understand, make me understand. What are you talking about, right? Second, what you say, drastically decrease of the unemployment. If decrease of the unemployment happen, then how come we are in the United Nations Hunger State Index worstly functioning than Pakistan, Sri Lanka? Have you ever observed? These all are connected. Economy is completely connected. Means somebody is lying to you, no? If you remain very worst in the hunger index, then how come you drastically reduce unemployment in your nation?
Unemployment and hunger issues are little bit not
No, everything.
exactly hand in hand. Yes, definitely they are.
Sorry
interlinked
to
one another.
interrupt you. Let me put up more brief. If your unemployment ratio get decreased, that means poverty ratio comes down. That means you are pulling pushing money to the below poverty line people. You are raising above the poverty,
Yeah,
right?
I was about to say that. Below poverty line
that
and-
mean your hunger ratio is coming
below
down.
poverty line and hunger are very much correlated,
So
but
that is
unemployment
see,
and
everything
are
is
not
connected. This is the science. What I am trying to say you, science. Then how come your poverty is increasing? How come your hunger is increasing? Somebody lied you. If you are saying drastically decreased unemployment, why these results are coming up? Somebody is lying. So
That's what I'm saying.
it's illogical. So when it comes to third MSME, have you ever thought of about the history of MSME? MSMEs are extraordinarily strong in India. Have you know that? Our cottage industry is the prosperous industry. Golden age we saw. Europe never saw. It was dark ages. They have different phases of the economy. But in India, we tasted a golden period under Guptas. Many people, even Mughals were there. Our cottage industry was very prosperous. In a state, Kakatiya too, there was prosperous cottage industry. Here, what happened during the demonetization, lockdown? Do you understand? Lakhs of MSMEs got shut down. Why? Because of the influx stimuli from the government. Have you know that number? Can I utter the number? Lakhs. I don't know the number, but more than 50 lakhs of your MSMEs got shut. And being a finance minister of this nation, what do you have done to counter it? What do you have done? Any direct policy to bring our MSMEs? If you're increasing, you're saying she's giving lots of stimulus to MSME, then employment is getting generated in the MSME, no? So most of your people, young people coming into MSME mode, then you are decreasing. It's a anti-counter to poverty, no? Right? Where it is happening? Somebody is saying on paper, it's simple. డబ్బులు ఉన్న దగ్గరనే డబ్బు లేనోడు పేదోడే. అదాని becoming అంబానీ, అంబానీ become అదాని. All this is happening, right? And you are saying that you are providing, this is so pro middle class people budget, then what is the ratio of saving of your nation?
All right. Mr. Sridhar has a point over
Yeah,
here.
let me put up my points here. Actually, the central government is focusing mostly on MSME, and we are the third largest ecosystem in the world. After US and China, India is the third large ecosystem in the startups. Definitely, current budget shows, lot of funds has given to MSMEs and startups. And we are doing pretty good in startups, because lots of our startups, if you see, Zomato and Swiggy, they are expanding to other countries. So it started in India. So that means, clearly, central government has given lot of funds and lot of initiation. And
I get it.
in Bihar today, Atal Tinkery Labs innovated. They started Atal Tinkery Labs. So that means, every student, every children, every college student, they can innovate. They can innovate and they can develop new ideas, and we will be very soon, we will reach the number one in startup ecosystem. There is no doubt about it. Really, there are some maybe there are some defaults, there are some drawbacks in MSMEs and startup, but going further, so definitely we will reach to the number one. There is no doubt about it. Even we are competing with China now in startups because a lot of our startups are AI based. So that's the reason AI has given more importance in this budget. Maybe we are in the initial states in the AI. Like now you can see DeepSeek and all these coming. Even Union Minister saying we will use the DeepSeek, but that is good for the nation because we have to adopt that technology. So to grow more employment, definitely we have to give more technology, because when technology comes together, really we can do the wonders.
All right, sir. I agree to you. What Mr. Sridhar has said is a valid point. I agree to you also, but a little bit thing I would like to elaborate is poverty, middle class, these two are not completely directly interlinked to one another, because poverty means unemployed, even employed also could be a part of a BPL family. So if they are not getting enough resources for their livelihood, they will be under the BPL family and the poverty index would be rising in that particular issue. During Manmohan Singh's time, Montek Singh Ahluwalia, who was the advisor at that time, he has framed a few things at that time, irrespective of the employment, what the person or what the family is getting. Earning 39 rupees per day will be considered as above, and anything less than that is considered below than that. But this particular government has not framed any figures like that. But yes, these are the things. Unemployment, of course, everything go hand in hand, but not directly linked. Mr. Nagesh, that is the clarification what I would like to give to you from my end. Now you can put your words that whether now after my view, do you still stick to your point?
I stick to my point because science is a universal fact, right? I stick to it because whatever observation I made it through connectivity, through the logical understanding. We live in a globalized world. This is called internet world, internet driven world. We are connected, everyone here. If you are somebody living in a war-torn country, it doesn't mean we are safe here. We are connected. Try to understand. This is a logic. You must understand the science. If you are thinking that we are third most MSME, you are putting your hand on your chest, thumbing like victory, it's up to you. Until and unless you are not failing to understand the science and logic behind it.
But these are the numbers, what are there? MSMEs, yes, we are the top. Startups, yes, we are world number 2.
What do you mean? See, let me tell you that this CVR agency is also a kind of cottage industry or kind of firm, right?
Firm.
Yeah. What do you think annual growth rate of this CVR News is on sustained mode? Do you think that? No. Uneven happening. Why? Because of the market. And who is regulating market? Whose duty it is to regulate the market to survive such kind of forms? It's government's duty. Does government is providing any relief? Means directly, indirectly, it has to maintain a sustainable ecosystem in this nation. But what happening? MSME is getting shut it down, and brother is saying very beautiful ecosystem here for MSMEs. For a fact, I am trying to recollect you, during pre-British era, we have an extraordinary ecosystem. Traditionally, our ancestral given us that ecosystem. We are sustaining it luckily, but we are failing to compete with Chinese, so-called Chinese. Why Chinese? Compete with US, no? What the hell? Why do you look up to only Chinese?
But
so what I am trying to say,
step by step, right?
Yeah, step by step. When? This is 76 years of independence India, free independent India. When you are going to raise, see, you just classify yourself. Are you moving towards in a right way?
What BJP always asks is the answer for your question. Out of 76 years, 6 decades is under Congress.
Yes. Let me tell you one point.
No, this is political counter. You want me to answer for that? Whatever industries you are speaking now, whatever the economic policy you are speaking, so-called BJP speaking now, that got designed, that got driven very well by the Congress only. It gave Bharat Ratna, Mini Ratna to Navaratna, right? Congress given it. IITs to NITs, whatever the education system, Congress given is. What is the IT, so-called you are proud about service sector, no? Who bought that IT policy? Rajiv Gandhi. FC Kohli was the director. So-called your privatization, globalization, done by PV Narasimha Rao, son of your soil only, Telangana. Congress. everything provided by this Congress only.
I agree to that, but yes, in the past 1 decade, Startup India is a very successful project.
Tell me
which
the
was
ratio.
not before.
I'll show you the ratio. How many of our people got benefited from them? You know that.
Yeah, you can check the data, sir.
0.2%.
Meanwhile, I'll go to
0.2%. I am saying you in number only. It's one of the failure policy which BJP took it and constantly
Which
run.
policy you are talking about?
Startup India and Skill India. You can check it out. How much skill university they got installed. In fact, your Congress government at this state
How many
got
startups
installed.
are installed in the past 10 years? That is my question. What was the India's place before BJP has come, and what is today? Today we are at world number 2.
How come you are world number 2? That is what my problem
The
is.
number of startups that are started in the past
No,
decade.
see how
giving
much.
you
Let's see.
completely.
Let's see. I agree. Certain. If you
In the
think
uni-
I agree, we are number 2 in the startup stage, right? That means we have a huge FDIs here because to invest here, no, we have a fresh ideas got cropped up, no, like Amazon.
Startup is not related to FDI. FDI is something different.
Let me. Everything is connected, sir.
Connected, but not
So
directly.
you are saying startups, right? We have
Startup,
idea.
any India, I
Yeah,
can have
any.
my own startup without any FDI.
That is what I am trying to sell you.
I can get a Mudra loan and have a startup.
You got
which is
started up.
nowhere related
You
to
got,
FDI.
you got it. You got started up. Me start better and startup low unit better. You need what is free hand, zero regulation. Does your government giving it? You are saying that they are saying here credit facility got 10,000 crore for startups, right? How many startup in last 10 years only? How many startup companies got used this fund? Go and check it once, no? I'll tell you, 36%.
Sorry?
36% of that one. Do you think that's a success ratio? Does mean
What is success ratio?
there is a, let me tell you, if somebody is starting up the company in India, there should be a ecosystem to encourage them, to provide a stimuli timely, to provide a technological help to them. Does your government doing all those things? Please try to understand. We have an extraordinary ecosystem here. Does our government coming timely and saving all of the startups? How many startups getting shut down in India? That's the number 1 in world.
Okay.
So
Yes, Mr. Sridhar.
be in a fact kind.
Let me tell you one thing. Really, no, like number of startups are shutting down. That is correct. I agree with brother. But still, if you look in a positive way, a lot of quick commerce and earlier there was no quick commerce. Now, if you order anything, really you will get it in 5 minutes.
And who is reaping the benefit of it? Amazon, Flipkart.
No. Really, I can.
Flipkart is an Indian idea.
Not only Amazon and I
No,
don't talk about.
you
If you talk
just
about
my
Flipkart-
intention is your nation people supposed to get benefited of all of your ideas, right? If FDI is coming here, that means it's going to bring new technology, new investment, and employment generation is supposed to be happen. No,
No. There is a lot of actually.
Sir, even if Amazon gets benefited also, the ultimately certain number of Indians also will be
if
benefited
you-
because Amazon's, you see in Hyderabad only, world's second biggest Amazon
Don't
center
claim this,
is in Hyderabad only.
No,
sir.
if you like,
Proud being a nation mate. Even I proud being a nation mate.
I'll give you
But
an
you
example.
can't be
No
proud
more
about.
talks.
Ah.
Let Mr. Sridhar give his analogy.
Let me
I'll
give you
back
an
to
example. Just now, I took metro and I got down at station and I took a Rapido here. So the Rapido person was saying, I don't work anywhere because now I am self-sufficient. I earn 2,000 per day. So that is great, right? The Rapido is an Indian startup. Not only Rapido, suppose lot of Jepto is an Indian startup. Blinkit is an Indian startup. So there are plenty of startups are doing very well for the society. People, a 10th class person can work and earn 2,000 per day or at least 1,000 per day. So 30,000. That itself is showing our startup ecosystem is very powerful. Really, after US and China, Indian startup system is very powerful. There is no doubt about it. And really, MSMEs, they are, right, like just now we were talking. Now our focus is on nuclear energy. 100 gigawatts of, nuclear energy will be done by 2047. So government is focusing on more on this budget, EV, mobiles and batteries, lithium. See, this is the future because, now Tesla is coming with satellite internet. Really, see the advantage, see how they are using the technology, like how the ChatGPT is using technology. But really,
that is not relevant to this particular.
yes, but
topic, sir.
still FM said, no, we want to enhance the technology AI more and use wherever we want to use. Like agriculture, we want to use AI because some parts, you know, there are 1,000 acres. You want to spray the chemicals. How do you spray? Pesticides. You have your drones. So that is the technology we are adopting. That is really good for the society, really good for the nation to grow on our economy. There is no doubt about it.
Superb. Can I counter it?
Yeah.
He's saying that we have a drones, we have a Rapido. Nice, Rapido is there functioning well. Those are ideas we supposed to support. I'm being a positive person too. I am not contradictory to any idea. I am a bit contradictory to hallucination, false hallucination. If you are proud being a son of Mother India, you should understand the logic here. He's saying that drone cameras are here. Very nice. What is the productivity ratio of your nation? What is the productivity ratio of the Israel, China, even US? Where are you? You are worstly functioning than Sri Lanka. Then where is the technology reaching? And whose responsibility it is? Obviously government responsible. So what is happening? If he is saying that we are for pesticiding, we are using frontal technology, he means that. If you are using frontal technology, what is the productivity ratio of per acre in India? Why we are only opting so-called rice, paddy? We are into living that paddy world, no? You know that? Are we diversifying our cropping pattern? In ancestral India, cross-check it, we are very much rich in a farming too. Where we are moving? What is our export segment in the agriculture and allied sector? Are we really functioning well? In the last quarter, we got very worstly performed in agriculture and allied activities. Do you know that? Why? Because of excess monsoon. If we are facing problem with excess monsoon, what is our frontal technology, nano, so-called this approaches of government is what they are doing. There should be mitigation measures too, no? Why don't you talk all these things? Let's say if you are very proudly claiming that we have a beautiful ecosystem, okay, I appreciate you. He's being my co-mate in this nation. We proudly belong to Indian community. I am proud of my India. I am proud of my Prime Minister. That's okay. But what is the reality? That is what that question is supposed to come. If finance minister is putting her budget, very nice, she is touching every nooks and corner. It's her duty. But outcome of it, what is the outcome? Last budget outcome, they were saying Viksit Bharat, no, developed nation. By the growth rate of GDP 6.3, can we achieve that?
Okay.
And how about he said it's like nuclear energy 100 gigawatt. Very nice. Okay, you tell me now, how it going to help us? Definitely it going to help us, but mostly in a commercial segment, those billionaires providing, getting energy to provide timely, even for MSMEs too, we agree. But there are very harmful side effects of radiation, you know that. What are the measures they are going to claim? Let's say in a South India, we have a static plateau, Deccan plateau. In a North India, it's a complete seismic prone zone. Where they going to install it?
If I would like to remind you, nuclear energy was very well under Dr. Manmohan Singh. It was very well encouraged, and at that particular time itself, Dr. Singh has proposed approximately 6 to 7 nuclear plants should be installed. One in Srikakulam and one in Rajasthan and a couple of other states which I don't remember exactly, but
Tamil Nadu.
Fortunately or unfortunately only the Tamil Nadu Kadamkulam project is executed. That is the only nuclear plant. So he was very much in favor of the nuclear because it is the cheapest
since Indira Gandhi
and the best. Indira Gandhi, it was not, the power sector was not taken into the consideration.
From the
power sector was not taken into the consideration. It was for the national security. So was in later also. But as we all know, Dr. Singh, rather than concentrating on the securities or tackling the terrorism, he is more interested in developing the nation economically. So he has put this particular frame of using the nuclear technology. Of course, he has under his time only nuclear submarine also has gone.
That's okay.
So how can you say that nuclear technology is bad now?
No, I'm not saying bad.
Don't you think that they might not have at that particular time during UPA 1 and UPA 2, they might have not have studied about the side effects or the seismic zones?
Sir, I'm not talking about negative.
No, you are saying about seismic zones and plateaus.
Why I am trying to say you?
But they
I
have.
am making you cautious enough. Let me tell you, nuclear energy, developing a nuclear energy, definitely a positive thing. You must be aware that it brings lots of negativity too. At the same time, the product of that nuclear energy got tapped by only few rich Adanis, Ambanis. That's supposed not to be happen. That is what my intention. The wealth of this nation supposed to be distributed in equal manner to the lowest strata of the society. That was my intention. I'm not negative anybody anything.
No,
I'm just uttering my
I'm just
words.
countering only one
At
particular.
the same
when you
time,
have
in the same time, I am
when you have pointed out the geographical point of view, I am
exactly.
telling that.
I am cautioning you and brother.
See,
even
I don't
myself
know
too.
what has happened in UPA 1, why those things
Not
of
about
nuclear
UPA.
establishment have gone. Because the present, frankly speaking, if you are stick to that point, you should be able to question one particular point, that why the present BJP government has not done enough in establishing those nuclear power, which was initially
I
planned
won't
by the
do that.
Congress government.
I won't do that. Whatever there in my mind, I'll speak up to it. Now I am trying to say you again, if nuclear energy they are bringing up, those fruits supposed not to be tapped by only wealthy few people, right? That's my question. Second, BJP or any government supposed to be cautious enough that most of our North India is seismic zone, right? Making sure that it has to be in an uneven manner too. Not confined to certain Maharashtra, not confined to Tamil Nadu, not confined to AP. It's supposed to be distributed across the nation. In that case, half of our nation, hardly I guess approximately 55% of the nation falls into seismic zone. How they going to initiate it? Because they must be very cautious enough because it's a nuclear power. That is my, kind of bringing cautiousness among you, me and people and our viewers. That's it, my intention.
Yeah,
it's
and
not
your
a
intention is
political.
very good.
It's not politically who brought it, who brought it.
It's not that I'm
It's
not saying anything political. You
And
have
I never-
got a very valid question, but I'm just countering. I'm just reminding you that it was Congress government which wanted to set up six nuclear power
True, you are
centers,
true.
but it did not work out later.
That's
It
it.
got
If you
restricted for
put up-
Kadamkulam only.
If you put up a physical infrastructure, when it comes to infrastructure investment in our country, there is a lots of gap, right? Infrastructure grew by how much percent in our nation? It's like 39% in annual in last 10-year decades. What is BJP done then? 39% is very low, you know that. In infrastructure, you can count electricity department and construction. Construction is at
Do you
boom.
have the data of the same from 2004
I guess
to 14?
I have the data. I have gone through the
No,
economics.
now
of
you
it.
are saying
Even
39%.
Nirmala Sitharaman put it on table
Okay,
of parliament.
no, what I'm saying is now it is 39%, which you are saying is not encouraging. What about the same figures during the Congress era? No, I don't want to go into
They're
the
supposed to
era.
be no. You are saying
I'm just saying only about Manmohan era.
Yeah. So let me tell you the comparison of the Manmohan era. If investment infrastructure was not up to the mark, then we might have not gone to 100 gigawatt targeting is present government targeting. No, initial whatever the seeds laid down by only Congress government. So that's a positive thing. Second, you might hold a 2010. It was a World Bank report gave. It gave that 32 millions of people in India lifted above the poverty line. That was the proud Congressy done by Manmohan Singh. Being a proud Congressy too, I am giving you back that data. You might know that we brought every village supposed to be connected by roads. That is our commitment in metropolitan to rural India. We brought that Jawaharlal Nehru mission mode, urban development mission. There are many physical infrastructure development policies got developed by Congress party only. Right? You can check, you just check a last 10 years of achievement of BJP government. Here we supposed to speak on the budget. So this budget is definitely a pro to middle class, but have you done a numeration of that middle class people or else across the India? That is my question.
Mr. Sridhar
Yes,
has a point.
actually, no, I agree. Actually, everyone cannot afford, flights, journeys. If you see, Kumbh Mela, flight tickets has gone like anything. The infrastructure wise, we are doing very good because, the one example I give you.
Going to Europe is better, is cheaper
Sir,
than going
Delhi
to
to
Prayagraj.
Dehradun, just 3 hours. Yes, you can imagine how, the roads infrastructure developing. And one more thing, today budget specifies 1 crore of gig workers, the temporary online workers, they will get the recognition, they will get some benefits. That is really greatest thing. And one more thing I would like to emphasize is, there are so many cancer patients nowadays. 36 drugs are, Honorable FM said, 36 drugs are duty free and tax free, and daycare cancer centers are going to start.
Okay.
So that is the greatest advantage of this budget, because cancer treatment is very costly. A normal person cannot even afford it, but this budget shows it's for them.
The basic thing what Mr. Nagesh has pointed out is the slowing of the growth rate. It should be around 8 and 9 projected, but now it is restricted to 6.8. Frankly speaking, even I agree to him completely that 6.8 is not at all a good number even after 10 years of stable government.
Yes.
Because during the Congress, I remember quarter it reached to double digit, and annual it reached up to 9. And always the present government says that during the Congress actually the development has not taken place. The number is there, that 9. By the now it should be minimum, it should be double digit, but it's half of the double digit. How do you see this?
See, not only India, if you see United States and other states also, Europe also, the job rates, it's going down.
Then it was worst when Congress was at power.
India is far better now compared to other countries, because the recession is high, and inflation rates are high, and we are not at all competitive with inflation rates.
To some extent, I do not agree with this, sir, because actually during the Congress time, world has seen 2 economic depressions.
And
economic depressions is
also. Just imagine that also. In the
COVID occurred only for 1 year. I agree to that. I am not bringing COVID, and I will not argue like a BJP person, like what India has done in past 6 years. These things I will not. Economic depression twice in the 10 years. Congress government has seen huge crude rate at that particular $145 per barrel. Congress has seen, but prices were under control. I have to applaud Manmohan Singh's government at that particular time, that we did not, the petrol was not overburdened at any time, even though it is there. And even during the 2 economic depressions also, there was not a single layoff in entire India. But now when entire thing is not so worse, you are quoting the example of US and you are quoting the example of China. That is their internal problem, that is their political problem. It could be anything. Every time you cannot compare, because it's not a global depression at all. It's not a global depression now we are facing. It is US and China, it is their indigenous problems. It's not a global problem at all. India is completely unaffected with those things, unless or otherwise.
As I
told to Mr. Nagesh also, there will be interlink, there will be hand on hand, but not completely influenced. Like global depression. India has come out of global depression. It was not touched. Even Dubai also was touched completely. Overnight, so many companies were shut down, but India it did not happen that day. Now we cannot say that, now we cannot bring America and China into this particular issue. Whatever might be, 6.8 is, we have to agree that it is very much low.
Yes.
And global things cannot be taken. And even pandemic also now, after 5 years, it is very minimal. If at all I would have asked the same question at 21 or 22 or even 23, I would have agreed that pandemic influence would be there. But after now, pandemic influence is not there. So do you agree that economic growth is not encouraging, even after 10 years of stable government?
Even I do agree with that. There are numbers, it's not going well. But see, further government has to think and correct it. See, if something is not going good, definitely we have to allocate, we have to train, we have to give more funds. Then definitely we can achieve that using the budget, and not only to one state. I personally feel definitely all state has to be equally funded. Then that will be good for the nation's growth.
Yeah, here I would like to quote Mr. Nagesh's point once again, that in spite of poor economic growth numbers, even if you give the tax rebates also, it's not going to be that much fruitful, because at the end of the day, probably you might be saving little bit. But ultimately, where exactly your money get reinvested and how the government is going to use it remains the main question.
See, actually that's the reason finance minister.
Or else we'll do this way.
We'll accept. I'll come to you.
Really
you can
finance
finish
minister
it.
has given 4 pillars. So the first one of the pillars is investments and one of the pillars is exports. Really they are concentrating more on these sectors, so that definitely we can come back. And if you see the tax structure, really up to 0 to 4 lakhs there is not nil, and 4 to 8 lakhs 5%, 8 to 12 lakhs 10%, 12 to 16 15%, 16 to 20 20%, 20 to 24 25%, and above 24 30% tax. Really it's beneficial, because we are not comparing as in inflation rates are very high, that the rates are very high and salaries are very low. I agree with that, but at least this is beneficial to the salaried middle class person. I agree, this is a pro middle class budget.
Yes, Mr. Nagesh, you are saying something.
Sorry again. I'll try to talk on the three things. As brother said, 5%, 20% tax rebate. Instead of that, some finance minister have to think about the increasing the saving limits of the middle class family. If you increase the savings of the middle class family, because it serves 80 to 90% of your major share of holding, how much banking sector holding this saving, right? It is very worst. If she talks and she brings some good policy of increasing saving of the middle class, it would be definitely a plus compared to this. What is the tax rebate she is providing? If people are suffering with saving there, what would they do about this tax rebate? First question. Second, they are assuring insurance for gig workers. Very nice. It's a nice initiative, because our leader Congress, Rahul Gandhi, has been speaking about this issue, protecting the gig workers. But what is the definition of gig workers for this government? Because gig workers are not those food panda, Swiggy, Zomatos. Even I feel gig workers are those who are surviving on littering stocks in cities, accumulated stock of litter. They are surviving there. They are putting plastic together and they are reaping. They're surviving on it. Those all also falls in a gig workers. I believe that way, because you have to insure every citizen of this nation. You can't limit that gig worker definition, as our Rahul Gandhi, respected leader, who I'm proud in saying that, because he is the one who identified it. He is the one who spoke on it in parliament too. Now the outcome is of this BJP government is insurance for the gig worker. That's a nice move, but here again my doubt is, like, if gig workers, as brothers saying, Swiggy, Zomato, food delivery boys, if they are earning, even though he is being a 10th fail, he is earning 35,000, how could it help if inflation is 7.8, 8.5 and 30,000, how could it be helpful in his living in metropolitan cities, urbanized cities? So this is the biggest question troubles me sometimes. Right, we must be clear about our policies. As another thing, I will tell you, Narega, even Prime Minister Modi speak very negative about the Narega, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Scheme, one of the milestone of this nation, which Congress government bought, equal to Antodaya, Anna Yojana, RTI. These are extraordinary powerful legislation. Last 10 years, BJP bought nothing, only Stand Up India, Startup India, right? That too a failure policies. But here, when it comes to Narega, it directly.
India, probably I don't agree that it's a failure.
No. You just go through the stat. Everything, whenever you speak, ultimately ratio of our society of people in our society get benefited, supposed to get benefited. How much ratio of our people got benefited by that policy? When it compared to Narega directly counters inflation. You know that our economy in a rural, urbanized world, we delivering direct monetary form. It's an extraordinary legislation, but our finance minister says something countering to it. I didn't remember that, but Narega is one of the milestone scheme. We have to encourage that kind of investment, because it generates employment, 100 days assured employment. Why can't we make it to 200 days? You are directly countering to poverty, inflation, many things. If investment saving ratio of very poor goes high, he thinks about his children's upbringing, children's to get educated in privatized or any best school they can provide. I don't say privatized schooling is so good. I don't say that. Being a humanistic approach, I am a politician too, representing Madhapur division as a corporator too. I can't say that. But what I dream about a poverty-free nation, what I dream about a innovative India, what I dream about equal, psychologically there is a disease, females are low, male is high. I just want to get rid of that disease. That why I believe in is Satya, Ahimsa, Sarvodaya. That way Congress is. Dadabhai Nehruji to Mahatma Gandhi, Surendranath Banerjee. I believe in those principles. That is the reason I speak on the truth. You try to understand the logic here. If you are encouraging the nation employment through Narega, then definitely government is countering poverty, inflation, encouraging them to be in a mainstream development. No. Irrespective of caste, so-called downtrodden community, right? So we must encourage such kind of policies. So
definitely, sir. I agree to you that Manrega or Narega, whatever it is, they have to be.
I spoke it in emotion. Hopefully, you understood it.
I understand completely. But frankly speaking, India requires a scheme like Manrega. India also requires a scheme like Startup India also.
True.
Right?
But I'm not
and
saying
Digital India, what the present government has quoted, it's not a, probably the name is given, but it doesn't mean that actually Digital India is not there during the Congress time. Startup India is there now. It doesn't mean the startups were not there before.
we'll put up a discussion on it. How much successful
Infosys,
is it?
these are also once upon a time startups. Probably at that time, during Congress time only, they were also startups.
Yes.
But number of startups, different varieties of startups, diverse startups, definitely in the past 10 years, they have increased. You have to agree to that point.
Absolutely. 10 years, 11 years approximately of BJP government rule, let me tell you, बहुत होता है చాలా పెద్ద 11 years అనేది చాలా పెద్ద స్పాన్ ఇంతవరకు స్టార్ట్అప్ వరల్డ్ క్లాస్ అవ్వలేదు కానీ మీరు ఇందాక డీప్ సీక్ అంటున్నారు
We are world number 2. Why can't
That
we
is what-
agree to that?
can I tell you another thing?
Yeah, other side of the coin.
Let's say DeepSeek once a startup, now it's a Chinese based company taking across world technologies. Do you agree with it?
Yes.
In a span of 3 years, last 11 years, how many Infosys you got built up? You have lots of startups, no? We are lacking somewhere infrastructural, a honesty to do better for the nation instead of being overdone, driven by one religion, instead of putting humanistic approach front.
Let's not bring those issues.
No,
now.
I am
This is
speaking
completely
stand-
irrelevant in budget.
No, not irrelevant. Definitely, if your
Startup
honesty
India,
is there,
Startup India
if your
doesn't-
honesty, if your honestly exists there, you would have done a census. You would have distributed
Sir,
this
one thing is
policy.
that Startup
This-
India or Manrega don't stick to one religion.
No.
Okay, if
I am
it's
not
really
saying
belongs to
Manrega,
religion.
Startup India is
Okay.
sticking to religion. I am trying again making you
let's
aware.
not discuss.
No. The fact of the
Sir, I will definitely
mindset.
speak to this on issue when the topic or when the debate of religious census or the caste census, what Congress
Do you
government has
agree with the
started,
Hindenburg and Gutenberg report? Do you agree?
that Hindenburg now it's closed the doors.
Yes.
That also I have
What
to
its
agree.
report says? What it says?
That Hindenburg now the company itself is closed. What is your say on that?
The company might got closed. I don't know about that. But one thing I am assuring you, when you believe in logic, when you believe in science, you raise above all. You work for the humanistic approach, well-being of everybody. But if you are speaking it only on one line, masjid, mandir, mujra, insecurity, appeasement, then definitely you are
Please,
lacking lots of
today
things.
those things have not come. Please don't raise those topics.
No,
I have
I
to
am-
object you if you raise this particular topic again and again. We are talking only about budget.
But
I will definitely come to you on that particular issue when during like topics like caste census or religious disparity. I will definitely speak to you.
so I have
Budget
one
we
question.
have to stick to one point
One
only.
question. With including me too. I respect your view, observation too. My observation is we haven't conducted a census in last 13 years. How we gonna divide this wealth of this nation, distribute this wealth of this nation in the name of Startup India or Stand Up India, Skill India? How we gonna distribute? Please, you just explain me. Another thing, my question is, in a last year, how many of your BC, SC,
Census
ST,
actually was postponed because of COVID.
How
They
long?
should have conducted.
How long?
Yeah, that's what they should have conducted.
Chalo,
Agree to
for a time being, I ignore that.
They should have conducted
Another
it.
question of mine, in the last 10, 11 years, how many of BCs, SCs, STs directly got the tender of central government? You check the numbers, I'll tell you the numbers.
Okay. But
2%.
today, when SC/ST has come into the issue,
Out of 100%, 2%, sir, my dear sir.
no, SC/ST,
BC
what's your
shares
say?
a tiger share here in the population of the nation, no. including BC, SC, ST, 2% of the direct tender got benefited from central government.
Okay.
So who is taking 98%? Sir, you
All
just, you tell me, no?
All right, Mr. Sridhar, I'll speak to you. Can you conclude whatever Mr. Nagesh has put the words? Can you
Definitely, this budget itself, they have given a lot of grants to SC and ST. And moreover, after Morarji Desai has submitted 10 budgets and 9 budgets by Chidambaram and 8 budgets by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharamanji, and which is equivalent to Pranab Mukherjee ji also. But really, it's a great budget. It's not only for one caste or not other caste. Really, I feel all castes and religions are equally granted all the budgets.
So, do you stick to the point that it is equally
Yes,
diversified, equally distributed?
Definitely, equally distributed. And really, there are a lot of schemes for SC
Next
and
year
STs
we'll put up a
and
same
lot of-
debate. How
lot
much
of,
benefit
schemes
they got.
for SC entrepreneurs and
Or
a
else
lot of
last
schemes
year
for
budget, how much it
no,
influenced?
Dalits,
Yeah.
backward, Adivasis. There are a lot of schemes. There is no doubt about that. Really, I don't want
So,
to.
initially you started that as far as the states are concerned, it's not equally distributed, but among the demographic part, it is equally distributed.
not like all castes. But state-wise, really, I do agree that Telangana, our favorite state, not much got benefited, but only Bihar got benefited. There are some other equations because of elections. Every
the last
time whenever
budget, AP got
comes, really,
benefited.
irrespective of any party, I'm telling you, any budget comes. Suppose there are some elections in Delhi or Jharkhand or some other state, really they are benefited. Every political party gives benefit to the upcoming elections state. There is
But
no
even during the election year also, I don't remember Telangana and AP were mentioned at all. Even in 2013 budget, Telangana did not get any benefit. In
Right, right.
2024
Telangana did not
also,
get,
it was not benefit.
but
We are
even-
concluding the program. Mr. Nagesh, can I have your final words?
Yeah, final words. Maybe this is not on the budget, but I have a question to put you in front. One question is South India shares a major share in tax, giving tax to the central government, approximately 75 to 78%. In return, what we are getting,
Okay.
right? What we are getting. Only AP is getting, not Telangana, not Tamil Nadu, not Karnataka. Why so? This is biased view, right? We have to, we have to understand. Maybe it's a political corner, but when you are doing social good, it has to be reach everybody. No, it's a social fruit. You are born to follow the directive principle of the state policies as designed in Constitution of India.
Okay.
It means you are demeaning the Constitution of India. Somebody is overtaking. Who is that? Just try to understand. But
Mr. Nagesh.
I have a doubt how these people are distributing tax. They are collecting tax from Telangana or AP. So-called Telugu people are holding major share in it. How they are getting back in a tax relief or welfare measure oriented? Don't you think we have some biased kind of?
Yeah.
That's question. I don't
That
know. That's my
particular
answer.
bias was there, and during one session of Parliament, one of the BJP MP, I don't remember his name, he said that this particular scenario of southern and western parts of India paying more tax and northern and eastern parts of India getting more returns is not a new thing that has happened. This trend has started in the late 1970s during the Indira Gandhi regime only, and unfortunately it is continuing till date.
yes.
This disparity is keeping on growing. How it started, no one knows, but unfortunately it is continuing. That is the answer of your question that was discussed once upon a time in Parliament just few months back only. Yes, Mr. Nagesh. Thank you very much, Mr. Nagesh and Mr. Sridhar, for joining the detailed discussion about the budget 2025-26, and that was a very fruitful discussion we had today. Yes, both the panelists have agreed to one particular point, that the state's distribution is not very well encouraging, but however, people's distribution was there. That is the point from one of our panelists, Mr. Sridhar, who is a political analyst. Whereas Mr. Nagesh said that even though the tax regime or the tax slabs has been altered, though 7 to 12, it is a huge relief, but still it will not be fruitful until the basic problems of India, the growth rate and the exports would be sufficiently grown and the poverty will not be addressed. That's the bottom line of the discussion. We'll come up with a different issue. Till then, keep watching CVR English.